Hey, so Glines from Automator, another episode of what we automated this week with AutoHotkey. So let me share my screen. There we go. Oh yeah, let me start that. Now my webcam reminder is going to be in the wrong spot. I'm using Prompt Assistant here. We made some updates to Prompt Assistant, by the way. Recently modified files. It's going to kick off, I think, like 5 scripts or so. Changes my DPI, which is really cool. Turns on Do Not Disturb mode. Get active path, that's interesting. Oh, I had it restart get active path because the DPI, it needed to take into account the DPI. And let me see here. Where is my webcam reminder? Oh, this started the wrong tool. Interesting enough, the webcam reminder, so I overwrote accidentally, it looks like, the webcam reminder with a tool I was developing with FFmpeg now, and I understand how I did it because I incorporated webcam reminder into it. This tool is not ready to share yet, but it I wrote it using either Grok or Claude, I forget which one, and it actually records my webcam as well as my desktop and my audio and puts them picture in picture. And then if I hit, what was it, F4? Yeah, that puts on the webcam reminder, which is where these coordinates in here, where it told it my webcam would be. Now, obviously, you're not seeing that because I'm not running this to record it. But during that process, when I incorporated my webcam reminder, I accidentally saved it, apparently, as the file. So I'll go into Dropbox and restore that. That's a good reminder for myself. But what I did was I brought in the webcam reminder into this tool. Now, this tool, again, we wouldn't have hotkeys like F1 and F2. This is just what the AI tool did in order to let me know. I probably should put instructions to say, tell me your Claude or tell me your Grok or what model it was written with, because that might be something good to have in the code, right? We did use our FFmpeg library and our notify class, and that's what those things at the bottom. If I hit F1 now, it would start to record, but it wouldn't record my webcam. It would capture my desktop, because you can't have more than one thing using your webcam at the time. But very cool, because now technically I could do this whole thing in this webcam in a small AutoHotkey code using FFmpeg. And what's really interesting is it's one instance of FFmpeg. I'm doing a picture-in-picture script somewhere down in here. It generates, yeah, here's the code, which good luck figuring that out. But it does the overlay of the webcam on the desktop, all in one instance of FFmpeg. So it's very, very cool. I had it start off at the different size up here, but I made it great variables for this. So yeah, you get the idea. So we won't worry about that for now, but it is, let me hit that, and I'll exit out of that script, but I do need to go fix that. All right, so back in here. So thankfully, Isaias was back and doing a lot of client work stuff. So that's what a lot of this is here. We were working on their complicated license. We added. I'll try to make sure at some point we have Irfan as the main developer working with biofeedback, but Isaias does the more advanced stuff. And we'll talk through what we're doing for them at some point, just to give you guys some idea of what we're doing. But we added some really cool functionality to their list view, like a thing like this. We added icons on the left to help indicate what's going on, and then a context menu. So if you click, if you right-click, it will pull up a menu that you have choices on things to take action on that item. So that will really help their clients, because their clients are not technical, right? And before we would have them navigate to places. Now we can right click and say, hey, email the log files to support, and they don't have to go do anything. It's all automatically done for them, assuming they're online. But yeah, that's some stuff we do for them. Let's get down into here. Lots of work for them. Some work for Jeff and Thomas. Okay, so here's that FFmpeg with the desktop that I was talking about. Again, I already showed you that one, so that's pretty cool. Random news meme. This just right now, I still have a standalone thing. When I write my newsletter, I have files locally here that I also pushed into the cloud. And what I do, instead of having to go read from the cloud and pick a random one there, I pick from the random one here, and then I swap out the path to the cloud. And that's what the meme goes into the newsletter. So I don't pick those. I have a list of, I don't know, 150 or so random memes, and it just selects one, and writes the HTML code for me to put in the newsletter. So my plan is to bring this into my script where I work on the newsletter. But this is a V2 script, yeah. And my one I use for the newsletter is a V1, so I need to convert that one to a V2 just to get it there, because I use it every week, and it's not a complicated script. So that's my search and replace HTML. If you have a newsletter or anything where you do stuff a lot, what I did was I put in some generic text that's unique and would not be found otherwise. And I say, when you find this, go replace it with that, right? So that's how we create our banners and some other stuff in our newsletter every week. So it saves me time, a lot of time. This AI interpreter, there was a little bug in this. I can go ahead and launch this, I think, now. Yep. And let's see here. So I have it. Antonio Banderas speaking. Will speak in Spanish, since that's the closest one that I at least have a sort of clue on. And now in the insert key, I think it said was the hotkey. So I'm gonna, let's see, what can I say here? Can you tell me where the bathrooms are and bring me another coffee?
Y me dices dónde están los baños y me traes otro café.
So we had a call with a group of people that were French, and a few of them spoke some English. So what I thought was I would have this, and I can change it, of course, to French, and then I can hold down a hotkey, talk, and it'll rip what I did, save it as an OGG file, push it into the cloud, transcribe it first, then it translates it. That's also I mentioned to Isaiah while we were working on this. We should also, when it's speaking, actually even right when the transcription is done, we should put on the screen, and we'll probably use our notify class. Maybe not, because it doesn't have good line wrapping. But we should put up the text in their language, and maybe the text both in English and in their language. So sometimes it's good to see both, right? Because if you're learning English or they're learning the other language, you might want to see the original one so you can kind of get the words that were used. But we already have the text, right? So we might as well do that. But this is a really, really cool. I could just do myself because I cloned myself. Let's see how I sound in French. Let's do Italian, since I'm more Italian than anything else. Okay. Where are the bathrooms? I really need to go badly.
Dov'è il bagno? Ho davvero bisogno di andare in fretta.
So you can see it sounds a lot like me, which is really cool. But yeah, I don't speak it. I know a couple words of Italian. Taze e mangia. Shut up and eat. Anyway, you don't need to know why I know that. Yeah, very cool little script. I don't think we have that for sale because you have to go into 11 Labs and clone your voice and then have an API. It's a complicated thing. If you want that and you want to, we can help you set it up. There'd be the cost itself for the script. I don't mind. We can keep it relatively cheap, but it's a lot to set up to kind of get you going. Transcriber. So we just made some updates to this. This morning I was doing some more updates. Let me go ahead and launch this. And now if I have a video, it's one of my favorite scripts. I use it on all of our videos. I'm going to drag in something that's not, let's see, Summit Recordings. Summit, I don't know what that is. Here's a 7-minute recording. So I'm going to drag this in here. We released this, actually it's in our channel the other day. So this one I'd already transcribed it, so it was very fast. Now I want to assign speakers. So now, if I hit play...
To the recording? All right.
So when I assign...
I want to make sure that, are you sharing your screen?
So when I assign now, it goes, after I hit assign, it goes to the next person, which in this case was Irfan, and plays for like 4 seconds. So I can hit assign again. Oh, and there was just the two of them talking. So... But you get the point. I don't have to click back and forth, so it'll be much faster on that. Also, I uploaded a 4-hour video, and we break the video or audio file into chunks of less than like 30 minutes. So AI transcribe doesn't have an issue, or if you use ChatGPT, I think we still have that functionality. It doesn't have an issue. Breaks it up. But what I hadn't anticipated was this summary, like getting the tags for all of the transcripts for a 4-hour video. That was beyond the length of the tokens. So for a 4-hour video, yeah, it's a bummer. Unfortunately, we need to rethink that one, because how do you get I guess the tags will be okay. It's the summary that that gets to be problematic of trying, if it's a 4-hour video with the transcriptions, trying to get transcriptions of that really, really long text file. And maybe we can reduce the amount of text that we're giving it, because I think we give it the time and the speaker and the comment and maybe some other information. Maybe we don't need all that information. Maybe we just need the comment and the person. I would say, well, no, it does need the time, because that's probably, yeah. So it gets to be problematic. But what we should at least do, say, is maybe cap it at 2 hours for now. This is a quick thing so you don't get an error. But so back to the changes we made. We made it here. If you go into preferences, now you can open error logs, and this would just open the file and say where there was a problem. So this is where somewhere in here I was having an issue with, the context length exceeded. So I was having problems with that on the 19th, a few days ago. But it wasn't easy to open this file, so we added it there and in the system tray. And we added another check there. I do have a couple other changes I want to make, but we just haven't had time. But this is one of these for sale. This is a great, my favorite script, probably close to it. We did release our preferences class, by the way, which is, we need to record a good, solid video. We explained it to the hero members, but it's still, I want to have a better example to tie with it. It's a very powerful, great class. Speaker assign, let's work on that. Check if user is admin. This one is neat. It's, hey, that means I am an admin. If we go into here and say edit, now I don't think we've released these, but what we do is, let's see, there we go. Com is user admin. So we adjusted this one. Now if I run this one, it does basically the same thing, I guess. Is that the one I was running? That is the one I was running. Sorry. But we can pop it open. What it does is it checks to see if that user is an admin. Not that the script is run as an admin, but it looks at these uses the shell com object, looks at this group of like who am I group, and detects if you're in the administrator group or not. And if you're not, then we wouldn't even try to do some things. If you are an admin, this is great. That means that you can run things elevated, right, easily. So we wanted to be able to check for that, because I don't want to suggest to people to do certain things. If they're not an admin, they can't do it anyway. So that's what that script's for. We had to create it because that's not something built. It's not a variable in AutoHotkey. That's not the is admin, which checks if your script is an admin. This is checking if the user is an admin. So that's pretty cool. Our FFmpeg, that desktop record, that was the one I showed you earlier. Right, very cool. I spent maybe an hour and a half in total, because I had most of it working early, and then I was adding little extra stuff to it. But I thought it was really cool that I just had the idea of, can FFmpeg capture more than one sources at a time? And yeah, it can, and it's really such a powerful tool, free tool, the FFmpeg. Quick desktop record. So that one we now have that on the website. It's a great little tool with, is it this? I think this is the one I need to launch. Yeah, so I can hit start and stop. What I told Irfan and Isaias is, what I want to do is when we hit stop, it will take the video. We'll have a different version, a more expensive version. This one's like $4.99. And it shouldn't be that hard to actually have in your preferences to say which monitor, right? Like, because I realized, talking to Grok, that FFmpeg just has coordinates of the desktops, and it just uses 0, 0, which is your 1, but if you want to grab the other ones, you just need the location, and FFmpeg will grab it. So we could have, like in your preferences, you come in here and choose which desktop, and maybe when this comes up, we should put the numbers on the screen like we've done before, and then you could choose that number. That way, if you want to record a different screen, but it's in its simplicity, I love the fact that it just records your primary desktop, right? And you always know that's the one it records. You don't have to worry about it. But yeah, we have, well, anyway, so where I was going with that is when we hit stop, I want to transcribe the video, send it off to AI, have it transcribe it. We'll probably take that data and add it under the comments in the file. And then we'll also use the transcription to come up with a name for the file so the user doesn't have to name it, right? Just all these are little things to help speed up what you're doing. Of course, you could still change the name of the file, and that probably I just say do that manually, right? But having it to auto name it, I think that'd be really, really cool. So that's why we haven't built that version yet, but this quick desktop record is available. Get active path. We made a couple updates to that the other day, and I don't remember. Let me see here. Control-Shift-C will get me the path. This is the path of this. It's an AutoHotkey tool, so it'll do that. But if I was in Excel or something, but if I hold down Control-Shift-C and I hold down C, it opens the folder of where that file is. And I don't know if you saw the little animation. I'll do it again here. There's a little animation. If I hold down, it will has a little animation and then shows you that. I don't know if we published. I don't think we've gotten that one online yet, the updated version of it. But get active path. We did add Irfan view is another tool we get the path from. But it works with, we do need to go through this script here and document, oh, actually I used AI before to document it. I guess I could do that again, right? But it should tell us somewhere, I thought up here, oh, here we go. Excel, like we need to add Irfan view to this, but these are the programs where we'll get the path to the active file from. The Excel and Word and PowerPoint, those alone are, oh man, because those are so annoying to find the path to the files that you're in. And if you're in like Chrome, this is how I do it for the newsletter, is I can be, let's say I'm reading, here's an article for the newsletter. What I can do is select some, come on. Apparently I have a hotkey down, stuck down. There we go. So select some code. I hit the same hotkey, Control-Shift-C, and what it does is it takes this text, gets the URL, I have it where it strips off the tracking, and builds that in the clipboard in HTML, which I can then go anywhere and paste. What? Let's try this again. That should have worked fine. It said it was learning to code. There we go. So now, and see, let me hit Control K. Okie dokie. Well, this was, Irfan must have done something that that broke that. Yeah, thanks a lot, Irfan. Because this has always worked fine, but now suddenly it's not linking. It's not grabbing that link. That's hilarious. I would have found this out very... Oh, now it worked. Whoops. So paste. So maybe it's not his fault. Maybe something just went wrong. And there, notice there's no tracking, right? And that's what I have in the preferences you can change. But yeah, get active path is a really, really cool, it's another great script that we wrote that I love. Prompt assistant, I don't know if I don't think you asked me to test it. But we did add a couple things here. Now let's say I'm in this SPSS, and let's say I wanted these alphabetized. You can just click this. You'd have to hit save, right? I don't think it automatically saves. If I jump to something else and jump back. Oh, it did. It did. That's interesting. Maybe we should tell him not to save that. But I think he does it. Yeah, I think it's our... I don't know if that'd be easy to do. But it does just alphabetize that real quickly. The problem with that is if you have some of these things like I do in here, where you have these dividers, those will end up all like at the top or bottom, and you're going to have to manually go back and do those after. But that's just, there's no way around that because we don't know what to do with those because they're, they're kind of inserted. We added that. We did add also the... let's see here, FFmpeg, where I'm launching my tools, and we'll just show you this one. So now this run HKV2, this in the background, we basically swap this out with the requires command, requires v2 64-bit. So when you use this, you don't have to have your requires in here, right? It'll automatically do it. And what am I looking at for this video reducer? If I run this, that's another great script, by the way. I can test it right here live, right? So this is a great way I can test it. Once I get it the way I like it, I can hit update or save. And then I have a Control-Alt-P to open this tool automatically. But yeah, so those are a couple of the changes we made. Nothing mind breaking, but very helpful. It's quite a pot. We use it a lot, and I realized actually Jean Lalonde was on our Hero call Friday, and he showed us some updates to now in his quick clipboard editor. He's building it where in QAP you can access quick clipboard editor directly. And during the call, I'm like, you know what? Like some of these things are modules, like this Excel library. This is our Excel library that we've incorporated into here, so people can just import the Excel library, because Prompt Assistant you can import and export, right? So I can hit export, it'll save this as a file, and you can import it, right? It's very cool. But I realized we should have some things like, I have these old menus. I have these old V1 scripts that when I used to work at TI. There we go. And in here, under, like, I can sort, I can unenlist items or enlist them. If you work with SQL, you know what that means. I can truncate it by certain widths. And I have, of course, hotkeys to uppercase and lowercase selected items. So we're going to build like a text manipulation module for Prompt Assistant where he's doing stuff in the clipboard directly. We want to be able to select the text, have it automatically do it, and paste it back into the tool you're using. But I realized, like, yeah, we should have, because between Isaiah and I, we have a lot of stuff that we do. I have a list of stuff, which I could, let me see here. So, convert to uppercase, lowercase, title case, sentence case, toggle case, convert camel case, snake case. Snake case, what in the world is that? This was, AI generated this list for me, right? Removing extra spaces, removing from the left or the right or all of them, or maybe we even have like a search replace type thing, right? Removing all the numbers, removing all alpha characters. Sorting, there's a lot of different ways to sorting, remove duplicate lines. Like, these are a lot of things that, you know, when we want them, we probably all have our manual ways to do this, but why not have them available in a menu in Prompt Assistant? Extract email addresses, yeah, some regex stuff. URLs, phone numbers, yeah, why not, right? Find and replace, yeah, so there we go, find and replace. Oh, that smart quotes, that's a good one, because that can burn you if you have smart quotes somewhere. Counting, this one also can come up very, very handy, right? Where sometimes you need to know how many words or whatever, and you're not in a tool that makes it easy, so why not? Add a prefix to the suffix to the line. Add line numbers, absolutely. That way it's easier to talk about where you are. Wrap text, I know Isaiah will love that one. Join, yeah. So there's some really good ones. And Isaiah, I told him to go through this list and add things. I mean, we can reorganize it too, right? But add things that make sense. So yeah, that's one that we'll be creating a module in Prompt Assistant for that. And then you guys can just grab that, resize icons, Prompt Assistant. So let's see, it looks like you did some other stuff in here. Irfan, we found a bug in this script, so we changed it so it worked properly. Automator Spy, I think someone asked me in the Automator Spy, they wanted, instead of having it be the right control button, be the left, and I think I went in and just showed him where he could make that change himself. And our webcam reminder, which I need to go fix because this is the wrong one. So anyway, it's a busy week. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like the video, or hey, like it anyway. It really helps me out. If you want to see us keep making more videos, and we've been, in our group, Hero Group, we've been talking more and more about AI, because AI is getting really good at coding and doing 8 million other things. So if AI interests you, that Hero Group is really, you know, it's a blend between the AutoHotkey stuff and cutting edge like programming and how to solve problems. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day. Cheers.